The Continental Mark III was a success for Lincoln Mercury. Now, it's often said that only the foolish rest on their laurels. In other words, if you look at past success, you rarely achieve any more. There's many at Ford that understood this phrase all too well. So in 1972, Lincoln rolled out the Continental Mark IV. The Mark III was 216 inches long. It was the longest two-door Lincoln Mercury ever built. However, the Mark IV was going to be 230 inches long. The question I have is, would more length equal better sales numbers for the Lincoln Mercury division? I think we can take an in-depth look at the Continental Mark IV, and then we can answer that question at the end of the video.
Continental introduces a new mark. Continental Mark IV. For all of the 1970s. This will be the unique American car.
In September 1972, Lincoln Mercury dealers introduced the new Continental Mark IV. It rode on a completely new platform, however it retained the look and style of the Mark III. The Rolls-Royce style grille, the long hood short deck look, the faux spare tire bump on the deck lid, and the hideaway headlamps all returned. However, this car was longer and had a longer wheelbase and rode lower than the Mark III. The front of the car featured a more prominent grille, topped by a hood ornament. This was accented by a sculptured front bumper that dropped down and wrapped around the grille and into the lower front fenders. The door handles were redesigned and were now flush with the doors. Bright lower body side cladding was featured along the entire length of the car, meeting the front and rear bumpers and the bright wheel lip moldings. At the rear of the car, the bumper followed the body lines of the car, and brake lights and reverse lights were integrated into the bumper itself. The 464-barrel carbureted power plant for the Mark III was carried over. However, this was a lower compression 385 series V8 and put out only 212 horsepower and 356 pound-feet of torque. This was matched to Ford's C6 3-speed automatic transmission. The suspension was set up for a smooth and quiet ride, not necessarily for handling. The front was independent dual ball joint coil spring and hydraulic shocks, while the rear featured a 4-link design with coil springs, shocks, and a rear stabilizer bar. The standard tire would be the white sidewall Michelin steel belted radial 225 by 15. Standard features once again were plentiful and included SureTrack power brakes, which included a computer-controlled rear anti-lock braking system, power steering and windows, an automatic parking brake release, which disengaged the parking brake once the car was put into gear, automatic temperature control, twin 6-way power front seats, a 3-spoke rim blow steering wheel, folding center armrests, cornering lights, visor vanity mirrors, a triple note horn, a vinyl roof, wood dash appliques in either walnut or mahogany, and an electric Cartier clock. Optional features included leather seating surfaces, intermittent wipers, an electric rear window defroster, automatic headlight dimmers, front bumper guards, a power sunroof, metallic paint, power locks with a power deck lid release, a tilt wheel, luxury wheel covers, AM/FM radio or AM/FM tape player, a power antenna, a traction lock rear axle, and an oval opera window. The Automotive Press called the car an improvement over the Mark III in terms of ride quality and noise levels at highway speeds. The American buying public welcomed the new, larger car, with Lincoln Mercury dealers delivering 48,591 Mark IVs for the 1972 model year.
Many owners of that well-known American luxury car think their car is the ultimate in driving ease. So Nationwide Consumer Testing Institute let 100 of them drive a Continental Mark IV and their make of personal luxury car. Then they asked them which one was easier to drive. 66 out of 100 said the Continental Mark IV was easier to drive.
Mark IV is just one fantastic automobile.
The 1973 Lincoln Continental and Continental Mark IV. It is a very good year.
1973 brought minor changes to the Mark IV's appearance. Federal 5-mile-per-hour impact standards required a revision to the car's front bumper. The grille and front bumper were squared off. The optional oval opera window, which was ordered on nearly every Mark IV in 1972, became a standard feature. There were no other changes of note. Sales of the Mark IV peaked in 1973, with Lincoln Mercury dealers delivering 69,437 Mark IVs for the 1973 model year. 1974 was mostly a carryover year for the Continental Mark IV. However, the federal 5-mile-per-hour impact standards were now applied to the rear bumper as well, and that required Lincoln Mercury to apply changes to the rear of the car. The tail lamps and backup lights were relocated from the bumper to the rear quarter of the car. These now wrapped around the rear quarter panel. New option groups began to appear, such as the Headlamp Convenience Group, which included auto-dimming headlamps, an auto on-off delay, and warning buzzers if the headlamps were left on. The Gold Luxury Group, which included a gold flare vinyl roof, unique gold diamond fire exterior, and a gold moonroof. Other new options included an anti-theft alarm system and illuminated visor mirrors. Sales numbers declined slightly, with Lincoln Mercury dealers delivering 57,316 Mark IVs for the 1974 model year. It must be noted that many of these sales occurred during the oil embargo of the early 70s, when gas prices nearly tripled and shortages were common.
Continental Mark IV with optional Blue Diamond Luxury Group. Featuring a special aqua blue paint with matching Normandy grain vinyl roof, this Blue Diamond Mark includes an interior of soft aqua blue Medea velour. It's also available in leather. Test drive a beautiful new Mark IV at your earliest convenience. Continental Mark IV, excellence understated for 1975.
1975 was mostly a carryover year for the Continental Mark IV. However, four-wheel disc brakes became standard. Notable new options include a Landau vinyl roof with a French rear window and forged aluminum wheels. Luxury groups were expanded to other colors such as blue diamond and white. Lincoln Mercury dealers delivered 47,145 Mark IVs for the 1975 model year. 1976 saw Lincoln Mercury introduce the Designers series. These were appearance packages developed with fashion designers such as Bill Blass, Givenchy, Pucci, and the jeweler Cartier. Each designer gave their version of the Mark IV a color-coordinated interior and exterior. The opera window was fitted with the signature of the designer, and a 22-karat gold-plated dashboard plaque could be engraved with the name of the original owner. There were no other changes of note. If you were thinking that cheap marketing tricks such as adding a designer name and color scheme could never work on the American public, you would be wrong. Sales of the Continental Mark IV ticked upward in 1976, with Lincoln Mercury dealers delivering 56,110 Mark IVs for the 1976 model year. So it turns out that longer was better, or at least in the 1970s America. You would think during the oil embargo that this car might have lost some sales numbers, but no, it really didn't skip a beat. Another thing I learned while putting this video together was working with fashion designers paid off for Lincoln Mercury. And they still do this type of thing today. In the past, we had the Eddie Bauer trim line with Ford trucks and SUVs, the Fila Thunderbird, Cadillac brought in Gucci, Lamborghini brought in Versace, and two of my favorites would be the 1972 AMC Hornet and the Fiat 500, both by Gucci. Now, Aldo Gucci drove an AMC Hornet himself personally. AMC actually started this trend working in conjunction with Levi, yes, the jean company, and they came out with their own version of the Levi Gremlin. The Ford Thunderbird rode on the same platform as the Mark IV. The sales numbers for that car were mediocre. They weren't awful. They weren't great either. Now, all that changed in 1977 for the Ford Thunderbird with the 7th generation. I cover that car in detail in this video right over here. Now, if you like this video, please click the like button. That helps other folks see it. Also, consider subscribing. I have a lot of content like this on the channel. That's it for today. A sincere thank you for watching this video. And until next time, we'll see you.